What's up guys, Christopher from Mainely Mesh. Today I'm reviewing the new ECD Bravo 1 head. I was super excited when I opened the box and saw ECD entering the less expensive tier product category. It is a category that is often ignored, and for a company like ECD to do it, it's gonna make a big difference. I'll quickly go over the visual specs for this head and then we will get right into it. I forgot to weigh it again, despite the fact that I have had way too many unstrung of these pass through my hands. The Bravo 1 has a really simple design. It's essentially a 3-strut head, 2.5, this half one I'm counting up there. 2 throat holes at the back. Nice, it's got a mid-low profile. Their pattern sits a little mid for me, so it's their low pocket. For some reason, the stringing styles of both ECD and String King basically bump up their pocket profile like a whole section above what I would consider a low pocket. So they call it a low pocket head. It definitely could sit low. Their factory strung pocket for me sits right in the middle of the head. Nice, simple, gradual flare, kind of a blocky feel to it. Straightforward scoop profile, nothing to complain about there. Overall, really nice, solid, stiff head. Believe it's around 5.3 ounces. Nothing crazy light, nothing crazy heavy, just a solid overall head. Unstrung, 70 bucks. Strung, complete stick, $100, which means ECD Lacrosse, welcome to the $100 price point. In addition to hitting that $100 price point, ECD is using a lot of the proceeds from the Bravo 1 to deliver free sticks to our service members, both at home and abroad, which is super cool. Just a clever way to support our troops, providing them with a great sport they can have access to, whether it's through the Wounded Warriors Project, whether it's through wheelchair lacrosse in the US, or just providing entertainment for our troops overseas. I like what ECD's doing here. Back on the domestic side of things, where does this head stack up against other $100 products on the market? So there are really only 4 of these products that come to mind for me. You've got the String King Complete Stick, well 5 if you include 2 from String King. String King Complete, their original String King Complete with the Mark 1. You have the Legend Intermediate is $100. That's on an 135 gram shaft with Type 3 and the Legend Intermediate head. The Epic ID Vision Complete Stick, as well as just now Signature Lacrosse has released a $100 complete stick as well. As far as quality of the product goes, they're all pretty similar. I would give an edge overall quality-wise to both ECD and Signature. Their heads are slightly more durable. The Intermediate also holds up well, and the ID Vision holds up pretty well, but the Bravo takes the cake there. Shaft-wise, they're all more or less the same, using either a 750, 7150, 775 alloy. I believe String Kings are a little bit lighter, so they might not be as durable shaft-wise. Stringing is where this head starts to move the needle a little bit further towards its end. Obviously, I can't give it as good of a rating as the Epic ID Vision stringing because I designed those pockets. What? But the Bravo head does a lot better, in my opinion, than the String King category, especially if you are targeting it towards the younger end of the market. Let's geek out on stringing real quick. I have a bit of an issue with String King's complete sticks for youth players. They work well for adult players who can handle a little bit more whip and go through a fuller motion. What you have to do when you're thinking about younger players is shrink everything down, right? So not only are you shrinking down sometimes the length of the stick, but also the distance it travels with the ball in the stick. So a stick with more whip will actually feel like it has even more whip the smaller the player is. A little tricky for me to word, but if you think about whip as being how long the ball stays in a pocket, let's say the ball will stay in the pocket for 1 second. For me at 6'2", if the path that my stick travels from where I cock back the stick to where the ball comes out is, let's say, 3 feet, and it takes me 1 second to bring my stick from cocked back to here, perfect. That's the perfect amount of width for me. It travels 3 feet in 1 second, great. Keep in mind that that distance is affected by how long my arms are. Shrink everything down, and let's say for a smaller player, I have the same exact stick. Now, let's say his stick path is only 2 feet long. Guess where that ball's releasing? Further along in the path of the head, coming out later, more width for a smaller player. This is where String King's pre-strung sticks for young players struggle, in my opinion. And actually the Bravo doesn't do as well as I think it could. ECD's sticks tend to be a little bit more forward inclined than I like. They have a little bit more natural whip than I like. This started with the Mirage, went on to the Rebel, and the DNA is now in with the Bravo. And for a youth player, I don't think this makes as much sense as it could. That being said, this pocket is shifted a little bit lower, has a little bit less whip, and does not have 2 shooting laces in one nylon as the String King one does. So it does have less whip than the String King does. I handed it around to some young kids. They didn't have too much of an issue with it. So overall, this one does well, but not as good as the ID Vision. But that's just because I'm a dweeb. So would I snag this stick? Look, if you were getting into lacrosse, if you don't have a bunch of money to throw around, absolutely would buy this $100 stick. You get a piece of hero mesh strung in it with a head on a shaft, $100. You can tweak the pattern if you'd like. So I was actually throwing around with a slightly different pattern that I loved, was stinging corners with it. This is the factory strung pattern. Mine shifted down just a little bit more. You can do some very simple tweaks to achieve that. So all in all, what am I saying? ECD Bravo is the best $100 stick on the market. I think the ID Vision Complete beats it out for a younger component of the industry. So let's say 10 and under, I think the ID Vision does better. I think the String King Pocket might do better if I were 20, a pro player. But all in all, for all of the demographics, ECD Bravo 1 Complete Stick takes the cake. This is the $100 stick to buy. If you have any other questions, criticisms, concerns, critiques, anything at all, criticisms you would like to share, please comment in the links down below. That's not how comments work. Please comment down below, like, comment, subscribe. Did I say comment? Should I say comment again? Thanks so much. Catch you guys next time.